All right, we are live. Welcome, everybody, to another edition of Deconversion Stories. And today I'm talking with the marvelous Pirate Kitty, who's usually kind of a behind the scenes kind of gal and, always keeping, it was you I was speaking to for the in time stuff, correct? A little while back for going on their show?
No, that wasn't me. That might
Wasn't
have been
you?
Kitty the Ice Queen. There's another Kitty.
Oh, maybe. There's so many kitties. Anyway, okay. Well, anyways, basically, you know what I do here. I talk to people about their deconversion stories of, when they first started realizing that this stuff was nonsense and what took them on the journey to becoming the atheists that they are today. So, that's basically kind of what I want to start with, anyways, and we can get into some other stuff later on if you're up for it, like your YouTube channel and stuff like that, and. By the way, guys, there are links below for all that kind of thing. And also are links to help out the show if you wish to do so because you like so much what I do. And I also have I'm now putting my email in the description box below for anyone that happens to show up for these shows and think to themselves, I'd like to get on that show and tell my story. You can now email me at 604atheist@gmail.com. And I will answer as expediently as I possibly can. Anyways, Pirate Kitty, so take us back to the beginning of when you first started, or when you were religious or somewhat religious, whatever the case may be, and what led you out of that.
So yeah, I was moderately religious. I can hear myself.
Uh-oh.
I thought
Well,
I heard myself.
I can hear you too.
Okay. So I was moderately. Maybe I'm echoing on myself. Oh, I am.
Oh yeah. That must be annoying.
It was my own version of the stream open.
Oh, gotcha.
So I was moderately Christian. My parents, we just went to. I don't even know the denomination of the church. We just went on Wednesdays and did little things. I don't remember it being a big deal when I was
Okay.
young. It didn't become a big deal until one summer my mother and father wanted a vacation.
Mm-hmm.
And so they sent us for the summer to our family friend who was very born again.
Okay.
And that's when I learned about hell and this and that and started kind of taking it a little bit seriously. But then I got older and I got to this point where I was thinking that it didn't make sense because, and it's probably the silliest thing, but I looked at like everything that reproduces sexually, cats, dogs, birds, everything. I'm like, there's male and female. So why would God be just one or the other? Why would there not be two?
Mm-hmm.
And if there wasn't two, why would God be one or the other? And so that was the seed that started. And then I was like, I spent some time as a Wiccan. I met a guy, my ex-husband, and
Me too.
he swears up and down what converted him to becoming a Wiccan was he swears up and down that he was at a house and they were doing some kind of a cleansing ritual and they lit a white candle.
Mm-hmm.
They did the ritual and the candle's color changed as all the negative energy and bad things were absorbed into the candle.
Okay.
And since I had already been inclined towards, well, that makes more sense. There's a god. There must be a goddess. So I spent a couple years as a Wiccan.
Okay.
He and I broke up. I moved to the South, which is odd. It was the South that finally kind of pushed me over the edge. And it's just like doing the whole Wiccan thing. It just felt, and I don't mean this as an insult to anybody who's pagan that's listening, but it felt like role play to me. It didn't
Right.
feel real. Like maybe if I had gotten involved with a group of people that were doing it, like a coven or something, it might have stuck. But doing it by myself, it just felt like I was playing a game. It never felt real.
Yeah, I kind of had the same sort of thoughts on it too when I was into it myself.
And so, after moving to the South and going to school, starting my college education, meager one that it is, I finally said, you know what, I don't really believe any of it. I found some of the older YouTubers, Thunderfoot, The Amazing
Yeah.
Atheist,
Yeah.
Matt, Aaron, Seth, and then some of the newer ones, and I just started absorbing it. And I'm like, yeah, I just don't really believe any of this. I mean, I didn't read the Bible like everybody says. You read the Bible, you become an atheist. I didn't read the Bible to do that. I just kind of found my way there.
Mm.
Um, I've actually never read the Bible. I'm a bad atheist. Um,
I've never read the damn thing all the way through. I got, 3/4 of the way, and I was like, actually, when the begats started happening, I was like, okay, this sucks. And I just kept.
that's about as far as I've gotten. Is we get the he begot, and I'm just like, oh, can we just skip this?
You're like, how long does this go on for? It's like,
Exactly. I usually rely on others to tell me about things about the Bible, but
Mhm.
not in the sense that like they say it, therefore it is. I've got my Skeptic's Annotated Bible right next to me. So if
Right.
anybody ever says, "Hey, this is in the Bible," I'll pull it out and I'll be like, "Well, shit, yeah, there it is." I don't have to just like people will say, "Oh, my pastor says this is in the Bible." I'm like, "Well, did you look yourself?" At least I can look it up.
Yeah. Yeah. And which version did you say had the skeptic version?
Yeah, I have the Skeptic's Annotated Bible.
Oh, very cool. I have to get a copy of that. Only other
You
weird.
signed this one.
Did I?
Yeah, we met it. You do remember we
Oh,
met at Facebook
yeah.
Forum.
No, I remember that. I was going to bring that up actually, but I don't. Oh, wait. Yes. Now I remember now.
Yeah.
You got to remember that was my first year attending, and I was pretty excited to be there.
Oh,
So,
me too. That was my first one. First one too. That was actually my first ever like trip, like solo. Like I booked the flight, I booked the hotel, got the tickets, and I went by myself.
yeah.
And I'm not the kind of person that likes to be out by myself.
Right.
Um, Thankfully, I had one of Drew's mods as my roommate, so if I got nervous, well, first I had, kind of made friends with Drew, so I knew if I got nervous, I could just go find Drew and be like, "Hey, I'm just going to hang out here for 10 minutes until I calm down." But I
Right.
didn't actually have that happen. You know,
That's good.
Everybody was just so nice, it wasn't at all threatening.
Somebody just said, "Nice backpedal, Neil." I didn't really remember it until you had said it, and I'm like,
Mhm.
wait, I do remember signing stuff, and there were other people had already written theirs in there too, if I
Mhm.
remember correctly. Yeah.
Yep.
So
Yeah, because you gave me one of your stickers because I was some number of followers for you.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. And now, Prophet of Zod just popped in and goes, "Hey, I think I remember Pirate Kitty from there."
Yep. If you remember signing a Skeptic's Annotated Bible, that was mine.
There you go. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to pick that up for sure.
Yeah,
That's a
it's
cool
it's pretty
idea.
nice.
How did you just buy it yourself, or did somebody give it to you?
I bought it myself.
Oh, very cool. Like online?
I think I ordered it through Amazon. Yeah, I ordered it through Amazon.
I get everything online now. Like,
Well, that's not the kind of thing you could just go to a local bookstore in Georgia and buy. You
right,
know?
right. Yeah. True enough. You'd have to order it, I guess, through them.
Mhm.
It's like
I
I
think
had to.
that was my second atheistic book purchase. The first one I got was The God Delusion by Dawkins.
Seems to be one of almost everyone's first book is that one.
And
Or
I kind of wish that my first had been God is
Hitchens.
Not Great by Hitchens.
I had
Hitchens,
that as
yeah.
well. Yeah. I had to go to my bookstore. Didn't even think about it at the time that I could have just ordered it online, but I had a gift card and I didn't realize you could use gift cards online at the time. And
Mhm.
I had to go and order this book.
Oh, yep,
Foundational Falsehoods. Yeah.
I have a copy of that too.
So I'm
Brought it
bringing
with
this with me.
I brought mine with me. That was what one of the most annoying things about going to the trip was I wanted to pack so much. Like
Mhm.
I had my clothes, and then of course I had my Skeptic's Bible, and I had my copy of the Foundational Falsehoods of Creationism.
Right.
And I went on Spirit Airline, and Spirit Airline is like, your bag cannot be any bigger than this, this, and this, and I'm just like, cram, fit, go. I don't want to have to pay for a second to check this in because it was like $75 to check in the ticket, check in the luggage.
$75?
Maybe something like that. It's just crazy,
Wow.
especially because Spirit seat tickets are super cheap,
Right.
but that's all you're paying for is the spot you're taking up. Like, not even only carry on if it's that small size. And yeah, I had the Skeptic's Annotated Bible, and I had the Foundational Falsehoods of Creationism, and I got them all signed by everybody, I think.
Yeah, well,
I remember there was one person I wanted to get sign it, and I didn't get to sign it, and that was Jim
Jim Majors?
Majors. Yeah.
Well, I think he's coming back this year, so you probably be able to do it this time. I'll double check with him. I speak to him quite often, so. Dallas Way does yell in your name and my name.
I see. Hi, Dallas.
Yeah, he always does. He comes in with full caps. I think his keyboard is broken, and it's on Dallas. Shit. So, when you decided that you were no longer going to be religious, that you didn't believe anymore, what kind of an effect did that have on your like day-to-day life with your friends and family and stuff like that?
Not too much for me. Like, I've heard some of the stories that people tell, and it just makes me really thankful for my family because my
Mm.
mom was like, "Oh, you don't believe it?" I'm like, "Yeah, no." She's like, "Okay, whatever." It's funny. I've told this story before. I think my dad had the most stronger reaction, and it really wasn't that strong of a reaction.
Mhm.
But he, when he was raising me and my sister and brother, he used to say, when he would ask to say grace, he would say, "Rub a dub dub, thanks for the grub, yay God." That was his version of grace.
Yeah.
And he was very fond of saying not Jesus. He was very fond of saying that God raped Mary.
Oh yeah. Well, sure. I mean, it was non-consensual, so technically that's rape, right?
Right. Well,
I don't
yeah.
care if you're a deity.
Right. I mean, it's like, how could you say no to a God anyways, even if you wanted to?
Yeah, exactly. If they're as omnipotent as they are, you've got no choice in the matter, apparently.
And
Still rape.
mhm. Yeah. It really wasn't much of an issue with friends, um, because, like, we were just college student friends. It wasn't anything like, nobody was ever asking me, "Hey, do you wanna go to church?" And I'd be like, "No." It was just all in all, it hasn't really affected me much.
Right. Well, so now I guess I'm guessing that the people you were with in college, like your friends and stuff like that, I'm guessing
Mhm.
they were sort of non-believers anyways.
No, actually, they were all Southern church-going
Oh, really?
kids, yeah. I didn't really start going to college until I moved down south,
I got you. Okay.
but,
And
like,
none of them hit you with the hell threats or anything like that, because that seems to be a
mm-mm.
common thing.
No, not really. Um, I mean, but we are talking about, like, one of the girls was divorced with 3 kids. The other girl was doing things that she shouldn't have just because she wanted to keep her V card.
Oh yeah. For a second, I'm like, what the hell's a V card? Is that like the TV show or?
Yeah, no, she was the kind of girl that would sneak out to the car and do things with the guy that she was interested in, just short of that thing because she didn't wanna lose her virginity because the Bible said so.
Right.
But, I mean, it's pretty typical of people. They claim that they're Christian, they claim that they believe the Bible, but they're all out there doing things that are completely contradictory to it, so
Of
they
course.
really couldn't have said much to me anyways because they knew if they tried it, I would have been like, "Well, what's that out in the parking lot?" You know, "What's with the divorce? Where's your kid's dad?" Stuff like that, you know? Not that I'm actually concerned about those things, like, it doesn't doesn't care. I don't care. Do what
Hmm.
makes you happy, you
Yeah.
know?
As long
Well,
as it
like,
doesn't hurt anyone, including you, do
well,
what you, yeah,
right,
makes you
right.
happy.
Well, my thing is the whole, um, you know how they're treating, Melania, right? With the whole, "Oh, she used to be a stripper" thing, the atheists and non-religious will bring that up,
Mhm.
and then people will get on them for it, and they have to keep constantly saying, I don't care that she was formerly a stripper or
Mhm.
a porn star. You're a Christian, this is your religion, you should have cared
Mhm.
if you really follow your religion."
Yeah, that's right.
Mm.
But they're very, I think they're very situationally specific when they want to be that kind of Christian. I mean,
Right.
if it's gonna cause them any grief, like Trump saying "get the hell out of my caucus" or whatever the hell it is, and then they're gonna be all toe the line kind of Christian, and then outside of it, they're it's hypocritical, but it
Mhm.
happens all the time. You know what I mean? I'm not saying all this right, but it could be the beer. For all I know.
I used to read a web comic that was called Suicide for Hire. It was not a very good comic. It was about these two kids that would go around their school
Mhm.
helping other students to commit suicide. It was very dark, very that kind of a comic. But there was one strip that always stood with me, where one of the characters wanted to commit suicide because they were gay,
Mhm.
and they wouldn't do it because why? That's not like one girl had gotten pregnant out of wedlock, and she didn't want to have to deal with all of that, and another one had accidentally committed a hit and run, and so they were
Mhm.
guilty for that, but they wouldn't do it for the gay person because they didn't see that they had done anything worthy of committing suicide for.
Sure.
And then they come across this whole protest, and this kid whips out all his biblical knowledge, talking about you're against people being gay, but you're standing there wearing poly cotton blend, eating your shrimp cocktails on your third wife, with your third wife type stuff.
Mm.
They'll a lot of them will ignore the entirety of Leviticus, everything that
Yeah.
they're doing that's a sin, to focus on the supposed condemnation of gays in Leviticus.
Yep. They only pay attention to that shit when it's convenient for them.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of sad, but it's, you know what? I think that's just human nature, to be honest.
Yeah.
And no matter what you believe, you're still stuck as a human. So you're gonna, make decisions that go against your holy books all the time. Actually, I've seen it happen myself. So,
Flow State, you really don't believe that, do you?
so see what?
Flow State Michelle obviously is a man.
I have no idea what that's about.
No, the people trying to claim that Michelle Obama is transgender, like it's some bad thing, even if she was, but I don't think she is.
And she's not, but it wouldn't matter anyways.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's like, even if she was, what's the big deal?
Yeah, you know what? This is a good. Don't abide by Old Testament and Mosaic law. I hear that a lot. Like when I try to bring up some of the Old Testament scripture, what I hear a lot is, "Oh, well, we have a new covenant," which kind of, in my head, that goes kind of against the God is unchanging thing.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. So, but that's it's true. It's true. They only do that stuff when it's necessary. So,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, Mosaic laws are all the 5 books and all that stuff. So, which includes all the kashrut law, which is all about the kosher stuff, which is utterly ridiculous. According to the Old Testament, there's like 816 actual laws, not just the 10 commandments.
Mm-hmm. Well, I can almost understand the kosher laws to an extent.
Well, for the time they may have been fitting, but
right.
Not so much now.
Right. That's what I have a coworker who's Muslim, and she refuses to ring up my bacon jerky.
Really?
Because she won't even touch the container.
It's not going to get on her.
Right. That's what I said. But, of course, I can't tell her that does not count. But, whatever. And that. But it's like I can understand, like, we raise cows, not cows, pigs, for example, very differently than they did 1,000 years ago. I can totally understand, you're letting your pig run wild and eat whatever it wants. It's going to pick up some bugs that could transfer to you and hurt you. But cows now, why do I keep saying cows? Pigs nowadays are raised in very clean environments, relatively.
For the most part, yeah.
I mean, they get in the mud, but I mean, mud isn't intrinsically dirty.
No.
And they're fed high quality, medium quality food. Let's just say quality food. They're not just eating whatever they find, like dead carcasses out in the woods or whatever.
Right. Although they would if they did.
Right.
I mean, they'll eat anything. Literally. They're almost like goats in that respect.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, this is absolutely true. And this is why I have a t-shirt that says, if I ever need religion, I'll worship bacon.
I've got an image that I'll show sometimes. It says, "Some people won't try bacon for religious reasons, and I won't try religion for bacon reasons."
Yeah. I've heard that before. That's a great one. Oh, thanks, Josiah. Yeah, look at that. Hug your love today. Oh yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Nadine just took. She spent a month with him.
Oh, I
And
thought it was the other way around. I thought he had gone to her.
no, she had spent a month with him, and he just shipped her home today.
Mm.
I feel you, brother. I feel you. It's hard,
I've done
especially
the
when you
long
have
distance
time.
relationship thing.
Yeah,
Not fun.
me too. I don't think I'll ever do it again, but it can be really tough on you, especially when you're in one of those moods where you could really use that person to be
Mhm.
around you at the time, and they're just not. But of course, a phone call can deal with that, of course, or even just a text or a FaceTime or whatever the hell it is can help. But it's much better if they're there and you can give them a big hug or something. So yes,
Mhm.
do as Josiah says: hug your loved ones today. Definitely. And something else recently um, happened to me that kind of made me say something similar as well. I lost another friend of mine again to cancer, and my mom
Mm.
lost her boyfriend as well just recently. So yeah, it seems the older you get, the faster people go. It
Yeah,
seems.
my mom passed away 2 months ago. Complications from cancer.
Oh, I'm sorry to
Just
hear
just
that.
before Christmas.
Oh, that's too bad. My biological mom passed away shortly before Christmas, this in 2013. But yeah, it's always the first holiday after that happens, always the toughest one. And of course, my biological sister was killed in a motorcycle accident some years after that. So
Oof.
yeah, yeah, it's tough. And I had, I'd only met them in the year 2000. So
Mm.
at least I got to spend some time with them. A good chunk of my life was spent getting to know my biological family because my folks ended up getting married. They had me out of wedlock, and when your mother and father are like ultra religious Catholics, well, not ultra
Oh,
religious, but quite religious, having children out of wedlock is very, very bad. So my biological grandmother, my dad's mother, didn't even know me, that I existed
oof.
until I met her. And of course, it's kind of a sad little scene because we're sitting out on the balcony and having a couple of beers, and and I noticed that she was kind of crying a little bit. And I said, "You okay, Grant?" She says, "Yeah, I can't believe I used to be the way I was because
Mhm.
because of that type of the way I thought back then. I never got to know you until like 2 days ago, kind of thing." So I gave her a big hug and I said, "It's all right. I've always been here, but now we do know each other, and that we can be thankful for." And
But you
yeah,
gotta think about it, if you wouldn't be who you are if it hadn't happened that way.
yeah, I'm sure I'd be quite similar. But yes, I was raised. Okay, I was born to Christians, of course. And my favorite part of the story is I was conceived in a '57 Chevy 2-door Bel Air hardtop, which, ironically enough, or strangely enough, and not ironically, that was the car that my adopted father was saving for his firstborn. So that's kind of a weird synchronicity thing. Um, he ended up having to get rid of it because they moved from Florida to Montreal, and that's of course when my dad got his dual citizenship. Then he moved out west and
Mhm.
met my mom, and then they adopted me. Uh, and then a year later, adopted my sister. So both of us were adopted because my mom couldn't have kids, my adopted mom. And then, of course, 2000 comes along, and I'm jumping out of the shower, and the phone's ringing, the actual landline, because it was kind of pre common use cell phones at the time.
Oh,
And
yeah.
And I answer the phone, and I'm like, "Hello," and then I hear this voice. Is this Neil? And I'm like, "Yes, Neil Bernstein." I'm like, "Oh, bill collectors." Right. So, and I'm like, "Yes, I am him." Well, I don't know how to say this. I'm like, "You could just say it. I'm your sister.
What?
You don't sound like my sister, right?" So I'm out. My knees are all kind of got weak there for a second. and I had to sit down. All I had on was like the towel wrapped around me because I just got out of the shower, right? So
Mhm.
I'm sitting in my living room taking all this in, and then she goes, "No, I'm your biological sister, and your other biological sister is here, and your biological mom is here." And I'm like, "Ooh, let me speak to them." And then of course we set it all up, and we all met. And the funny thing was, is I had them meet me at the 7-Eleven parking lot right around the corner from where I lived at the time.
Oh,
And
they were living near you?
they were
Oh,
about
wow.
an hour away. Apparently, we lived about 5 blocks away from each other when I was just little, like 7 or 8 years old. They lived in the same area that I lived in, like 5 minutes away, which is crazy.
Small world type situation.
Oh, sure, sure. But when they pulled in to meet me, there I was. My hair wasn't this long at the time. I think it was about here, and I had it all dyed black because I was all kind of pseudo-y gothy kind of guy at the time. But they pull in, and I see them all looking under, like under the shield of the wind of the roof and the windshield, and they're all going like this. They're all going, "Oh yeah, that's one of us." Kind of apparently, I look just like my dad from the eyes up, and I look just like my mom from the nose down. So yeah,
My family has got strong genes like that.
yeah.
I have this one picture where we had gone to my mother, my sister, my aunt, my brother, and my father. We all went to the Georgia Aquarium down here. And when you go into aquariums, they had that whole take a picture thing.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
We took that picture, and I was like, somebody just found this picture sitting on the floor. They would know we were all related for sure, because we all have this very predominant look to us.
Right.
And you tell a small world story. I've got one. My dad is from Massachusetts, and my mother's from California.
Okay.
And we all us kids were born in California, I think. I'm not sure where my sister was born, if she was born in California or not. But anyways, we moved back to Massachusetts for a while. And then we moved back to California. And my mom's at her job at this company called Varian, making computer parts. And she's talking to this woman that's sitting next to her. And she happens to mention that her husband's from Medway, Massachusetts or something, wherever it is over there. And she goes, "Really?" And so then she mentions his name, and she goes, and she names my uncle and my aunt. And my
Wow.
mother double takes at her and goes, "What?" She's like, and she names all 3 of the kids. And she's like, "I used to live down the street from them, and we would play when we were kids."
Wow.
So from
Hilarious.
yeah. So it's like small world.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I can probably recall a few instances of something like that where you run into somebody on a trip or something, and they like, you always hear this kind of thing. Like I'll be somewhere like in Europe or something. "Oh, you're from Canada? Do you know the Andersons?" Like, well, Canada's pretty fucking big.
Big, yeah.
It happened one time. I was in Italy and just outside of Rome, and I ran into this little lady that was sitting in a coffee shop, and I noticed the Canadian flag on her bag. And I walked up and said, "Oh, where are you from in Canada?" She said, "Oh, I'm from Toronto." I said, "Oh, I'm from British Columbia." She goes, "Oh, do you know the so-and-sos?" And I go, "What you said?" Like the Forsyths, I think she said.
Mm-hmm.
I said, "I know a Forsyths. They actually live next door to me." And she gave me the first names. I go, "Yeah, that's them. That's crazy." So I just ran into this little lady in the middle of Rome, and she knew my fucking neighbors. Right? He was a badass too, because he was this old school guy, right? Like you ever see that movie with Clint Eastwood where he's sitting on the porch all the time, he's like, "Get off my lawn," that kind of guy.
Yeah.
And he was total old school. Even his lawnmower was his old, like the blades that spun as you push the motor.
Okay, yeah.
But I'll tell you what, though. Let me tell you what. His lawn was the best looking lawn on the block. That's for damn sure. My dad got so sick of him winning the competitions all the time that he put rocks and dirt in the front yard and put trees and stuff instead. He didn't want to mow the front anymore.
Can't win, destroy it. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. I'll do something else with it. So they made this kind of Japanese. They had like Japanese maples in there, and they had all these types of trees and little fountain things, and it looked really nice. It was really nice. And of course, I've been by there recently, and they took all that out, and it's all lawn again. So
yeah,
I guess my old neighbor passed away finally, and and everyone was not afraid to have their lawns because he was like the master at mowing. But that old school mower.
Is that the kind you have to literally like you literally have to sharpen the blades because they don't come out?
They're kind of angled blade. They kind of go on a wave and in a circle around the wheels. They're attached. They're the same size as the wheels, and you just push it, and you can see the grass blades flying up in the air, but there's really not many of them. And he never had to rake because he did it like twice a week. He'd do this.
Oh wow.
So the little shaves of grass were like tiny. So, and his lawn was just fucking green all the time. No bloody dandelions or any other weeds in it. He knew what he was doing. He was a master at the lawn. Anyway, I don't know how the hell we got onto lawn. Room in Canada for one more. Whoops, wrong one. Thanks, Josiah again. Of course. But I'm on the wrong coast, my friend. You want the other side. But yeah, we've always got room. Fucking Canada, our entire population lives close to the border, just about. The rest of Canada is wide open. Of course, you'll have to, wrestle with wolverines and grizzly bears. But hey, for space, I mean. But yeah, no, it's wide open. If you don't mind making an igloo, you're always welcome.
I've always wondered why Canada never invested in what's the word? Underground architecture.
Underground?
Yeah, basically underground malls and things with skylights and things.
We do have some.
Mm-hmm. Well, the farther north in the areas where it's really.
Oh, I see.
Really bad, I hear.
Yeah, it can get really cold. One of the coolest places I ever went to, which is fairly close to where I live right now, it's actually along the coast of British Columbia. We did a job when I was working in restoration and renovation type work. This is fucking 25 years ago. And we did a job at a house that was literally built onto the side of a cliff.
Interesting.
On every floor, one of the walls was the cliff surface. And they had a bowling alley in one. They had a pool in one level. And the other 3 levels were, of course, like the kitchen, dining area, then the living room area, and then the bedrooms were all on the top. And then they had a garage up top, but that wasn't actually on the side of the mountain. It was above where the ground leveled off. But yeah, it was pretty cool. It was pretty neat. We were sitting in there like bowling and stuff while we were on break, and the guy was just laughing at us. Kept feeding us beer, so I liked him. He's the only other person that always made sure that my hands had a beer in it other than R and Raw, right? Back in the day. Well, you remember that. At the Faithless Forum last year. He's not going to be there this year.
Oh.
I know.
Too bad.
He's got another gig, I believe, somewhere. But he'll only be, I'm going to be down there for 2 weeks. So I'll eventually get to see him because I'm going to get him to sign this for me, right? So
yeah.
Yeah. And I watched today. He had promoted it and Seth had promoted it, the Unholy Trinity reunion tour.
Yeah.
Started up. And I watched that. I didn't watch any of their actual speaking bits, but I'll eventually get to that. But I always love the question and answer stuff.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I watched that today, and it was pretty funny.
I watched clips of it from when they did it, the original one.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a really long while, but I can't quite remember a lot of it. But the one that I do remember is Matt doing the skit where he comes out in the bathrobe, playing God.
Yes, which is absolutely hysterical.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you, I was so excited and in my glory when we got to hang out at Matt Dillahunty's house. I was like, holy shit, I am in Matt Dillahunty's house. I never thought that this day would ever come. But, that was awesome.
Him and Matt and Thomas were the two that I didn't get to talk to either of them very much this past Faithless Forum. Thomas was too busy running around. I barely got him to sign my book. And then I literally walked up to Matt and asked him to I was nervous.
Yeah.
And so I had asked Rachel to sign my book first because I had talked to Rachel at the bar the night before, talking about Kyra and my ferrets. And of course we were talking about animals. And then since Matt was there, I just kind of turned and said, since you're standing here, would you sign it too? And then right after he signed it, he walked up and he had to go because of the death of his friend,
right?
Which is understandable, of course. Yep. But I was just like, darn, I wish I could have had a chance to, at least talk to him a little bit.
Yeah. If you'll have a lot of time to. He'll be here this year again, so you'll have lots of time to talk with him. Yeah. At least nothing has come up that's going to drag him away that I'm aware of yet.
Yeah. Well, life happens. I'm
Yeah.
not doing the VIP this year though.
Oh no,
I did VIP last year,
it's a little bit
but
more costly, right? So.
yeah. I think it'll be more interesting to, meet the people during the regular event and then, have meals with the other guests that I may meet.
Yeah.
Because,
Sure.
like last year, I ended up going to lunch with some people. I don't even remember their names, but we went to the sandwich joint and sat down and had sandwiches and, yacked away for the entire hour.
Yeah.
So I think that'll be a better thing than the VIP dinner is, just, hey, you want to go get something to eat? Let's all hop in a car and go.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
I don't know what the hotel looks like, so I don't know if the hotel's got a restaurant or whatever.
Oh, I think it's got a couple. So you should be all right. It's one of the Hiltons. They always have like one
Oh.
or two in there. So yeah. I still haven't even got my flight booked. I haven't got my hotel booked. Of course, mine is reserved, being part of the panel this year.
But, yeah.
So everything's already reserved for me. I just got to go in and actually pay for it. And I'm working on that now. I'm just getting, I'm doing a big cash transfer from one of my other accounts. That
I hear you're going to have some roommates.
You've been speaking to Bub and Zach, haven't you?
Yeah, Bub mostly because when he first brought up the idea that he needed a room, I was going to offer if he didn't mind sharing the room with two girls, but well, because I'm
going to tell that to Bub.
But I asked the first person that I'm sharing the room with, and she's like, "I'm a little uncomfortable with that." I'm like, "That's fine." Come to think of it, I probably should have bounced that idea off my boyfriend's head first.
Yes. Yeah, because he might be like, wait a minute, what? So, which, I can understand.
Well, his joke last year was, "Do I have to worry about you in some atheist orgy?" And I'm like, "No."
Flow State wants to know. Oh, and by the way, welcome, Flow State. I think it's the first time you've hung out here, really. Oh, no, I've seen you before. But anyways, the Atheist Conference or something is called the Faithless Forum. It happens on average once a year down in Texas, either Dallas or Austin. The last two were in Dallas. This year it's in Austin. And it is very fun. It is a lot of fun. Like, I loved it. I still say it's probably one of the best trips that I've taken in a long time. Outside of when I was a late teen, early 20s guy taking off to Europe all the time. It was definitely awesome. Yeah, which reminds me, I got to get back over to Europe because I got to go and bug Rationality Rules and Cosmic Skeptic and all those guys and go hang out with them and drink lots and lots of actual English beer in a pub. Oh, and God the Good One. I don't know if you're familiar with him. Oh,
I've heard it somewhere.
Excuse me. He's hysterical. And I really want to go drinking with him. Yeah. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. If you do get a chance, I think tickets are almost sold out again. I think there's only a few left. So
I panicked about getting them on the day that it like
everyone did.
I'm on my phone in the bathroom at work going, "Come on, reserve this ticket. Come on, phone work." But I reserved my room and I got my ticket. I'm waiting on the flight though because I'm trying to get one that's going to be under $200.
Wow. I'm happy when they're under 500 for me. So
yeah, I have an app that I use called Hopper. And you can basically put in where you're going and where you want to go, and it'll keep you updated on the prices.
I just found out about that app. I don't know if it works here in Canada though.
It should. Because I've been able to track trips from the US to Australia.
Wow, cool. Yeah, I'll check it out. I just use Expedia, right?
Well, yeah, that I use Hotwire, but I'll have to check Expedia too. But like the prices that Hopper gives me are accurate on Hotwire. So I don't book through Hopper. I just keep it in my phone. Then I'm like, well, let me check the price of the tickets today.
Everyone's going on about how it's an orgy at Faithless Forum. So I had to put this one on there. Yeah, fresh atheist poon. you big perv. Yeah, I don't even know where to go here from here after that.
Yeah.
It is definitely a good time down there for sure. So if you can make it, definitely, I suggest you head down and check it out. You can come and meet me and either shake my hand or punch me in the face, depending on how you feel. If you don't punch me in the face, I usually have beer and I'll share it with you.
I just wish that I liked beer better.
Me too.
I'm just not a big fan of it.
If I liked beer any more than I do, I'd be in trouble.
I've never really found one that I like. They all taste just too hoppy for me, I guess.
Mm.
And I don't like that flavor.
What about more of a Pilsner? It's a little bit lighter than a lager. So
I'll drink things like ciders.
Sure. Yeah.
And I've had one that's called a black and tan, and it's Guinness over an amber ale. And that was pretty good, but it was a mixed drink, so of course you pay. It was kind of a mixed drink, so you pay more for it.
Yeah, you're mixing beers, basically, or stout with an ale, anyways.
Right.
It's all beer.
But when it's not just on the tap and they have to do something special, they'll charge you extra $2 or $3 for it.
Oh, whoop, wrong one. Guys, stop typing for a second. It moves up one. That's the one I was trying to find. This is a direct dig at the lovely Shannon Q. Because when she saw me walk into the hotel last year, she was carrying a big glass of wine and she ran over and gave me a big hug and, of course, spilled half her wine down my back. So I got to smell like a wino.
I missed that.
That was
that was I got to the hotel and there was a bunch of people down in the lobby on Friday. Break out in handcuffs.
Oh shit, I have such cool friends.
So I come down to the lobby because I was looking to see if I could find Drew. And I came down and I stopped at the tables. I looked and I'm like, wait, that's Raz. That's Bionic Dance.
Yeah.
Matt Dillahunty's over there sitting on the couch, and I'm like, my brain just went. So I picked up my phone, sat on a table, plopped down, and looked at my phone until my brain would figure out what to do. And Raz looks over at me and goes, "Can we help you?" And I'm like, "I'm just looking for Drew." And she's like, "He's busy." I'm like, "I figured he would be," but my brain stopped working for a few minutes.
He's a pretty busy guy. To answer your question, Dallas, I have braided my hair. I usually just let my nieces do it when they were little anyways. And this year, Rachel Oates said she's going to do my makeup. And
I just saw that.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I just read that a couple minutes ago.
Yeah. So she's going to do my makeup for me and braid my hair, I think. Yay!
Yeah, I'm glad to see that she's going to be back again.
Yeah, me too. And Steven's coming back too. It'd be good to see him too. I think he's bringing me, and he's telling me I don't have to pay for it either. He's bringing me a new game that game he created, Debunked.
Oh yeah.
So if he does bring it with him for me, then I'll break it out. We should all play. I think we should do a game night or something with that.
That would be well. That's the funny thing. Like we were supposed to, go up to Drew's room and play like video games or something. And we went up there, and it was Drew, Rachel, me, and Christina were all in the room. And Drew gets a call, and he's like, "We gotta go down to the lobby. Dan's broken out his violin." And so we go down to the lobby, and he's sitting there playing. I mean, you saw this. You saw the video of them imitating the. Yeah, I was standing behind whoever was recording, just laughing like crazy.
Yeah,
it was so funny. But we never did get up there to play any of the video games because we got distracted by all that downstairs.
It was fun downstairs. I even talked to the guy that was the server at the bar to stay open a little later so we could keep getting beer. And then finally he's like, "Look, I've been open for an extra hour. I got to close." and then Jamie and I were like, "Well, shit, man, we need more beer." So we stumbled over to the gas station to get some more beer.
Yeah, I didn't realize I was there when you guys were leaving. And had I realized that there was a gas station right next door, I probably would have gone with you guys so I could get something that I would have drank. Because Jamie tried to share one of those beers with me.
Yeah.
You know, when you had Shannon and Paul and Kyle and a bunch of everybody on the patio in the back.
Yeah.
You were standing over my left shoulders. I'm sitting there just going, I can't believe the company I'm keeping right now.
I couldn't either at the time.
And then listening to Shannon go from her normal voice to her deep Canadian accent as she yelled at Kyle was just funny.
Yeah, if you hear that voice, Shannon's pissed at you. All right, just FYI. She's awesome though. I know, Julie. We all love Shannon. She's probably one of the best Canadians, or close to it, anyways.
It's like I stand the Shan.
Yeah. I should show up to the Faithless Forum. I think they'd get a kick out of you. Why? Are you judging on your name? I'm gonna say you are religious, but probably really easygoing because you haven't been preaching in my chat like some of them do. My favorite is when Darth Dawkins' little troll army shows up. Usually it's in an after party, and they show up and they start going, "You're scared to debate Darth." And I'm like, "Not really. Darth doesn't debate. He likes to use a tactic where he asks these questions that lead you. Just ask Shannon. She had to deal with him the other day. That leads you to a conclusion that he's trying to get you to, so that he can go aha with a gotcha kind of thing, right? And I have no time for that shit. If you're not going to have honest and constructive discourse, then I don't really care."
I seem to remember seeing a couple of videos responding to the messenger reveals. I think Surus did one. I don't remember.
It's possibly. Well, you're welcome to my streams anytime. Messenger reveals. Yeah, we like they say at the end of all the Atheist Experience shows. As long as you're not here to proselytize or make us feel like crap, you're always welcome. I'm friends with many theists, actually. A couple that I speak to regularly on Twitter. They're good people. And we're all good people. The only difference between us is we don't believe in deities, and you do. That's it. Really, that's it. Oh, we probably have other beliefs that might be slightly different, but I'll have another sip of my beer right now. But I think we can all get along. It's just, the only time we really say stuff against religion is when it's trying to be used to infringe upon the rights of human beings. That's for the most part. Or when they want to start breaking down the wall between church and state, we'll say. That's when I kind of get in an uproar, because they should always be separate. I used to have a bumper sticker the last time they mixed church and state, people died at the stake. Right? That's back when I was more of a Wiccan, though, back in those days. All right, so Josiah, you're going to go broke on me. Like, cut it out, man. I appreciate it, but once the super chat thing actually activated for me, I was like, holy crap, I can do super chats now. And I was all excited. And it took a while for people to kind of catch on, but I get a couple here and there, which is really cool.
That was actually the first thing I noticed when I loaded it up. I'm like, oh, he's got access to super chats now.
Yeah. Well, once you hit 1,000, I think you have access, right? So, and everyone keeps telling me that you can now personalize your channel name, like your link name or whatever. I could have YouTube./ whatever, Neil 604. I don't really care though. Once I link my channel, people know what it is anyway, so I don't really need that in there.
Well, it just makes it easier for you to share it with people that aren't accessing your computer right then and there. You could be like, oh yeah, it's YouTube / Neil the 604, and then as long as they can remember that, they can just type it in. But
yeah,
I don't know. Also makes it shorter.
I've tried it. I've even typed in 604 and my name pops up in that, right? So, which is cool. And everyone always asks me, what the hell's the 604 all about? And that's actually the original area code for where I live. Like Vancouver Lower Mainland originally was 604. Now they've got a bunch more because there's like fucking million more people here. But yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good way to make people fight, is to change their zip code. I mean, their area code. Because when I lived in California, like the entire... What's the super chat you talk about? Oh.
Yeah.
The San Francisco Bay Area, where I'm from, was originally all 306. And then they split it up and they gave us a different one. And people tried to fight that. It's like, it's just 3 numbers.
That's all it is. Yeah. Hello, Rory. Hi, and thanks again, Josiah, and thanks, Math Pig. Rory just showed up. Great. So you're still down for an after party, correct?
Yeah.
You're good for that?
Yeah.
I know you had a relatively short deconversion story, so
Yeah, that's what I was worried about, was kind of being boring on that front.
that's okay.
After a fashion.
We found a way to stretch it out. We start talking about Faithless Forum, and it'll be really good to see you again, because this year I think is going to even be more awesome than last year.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be double the amount of people, easy.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I can't imagine that. I got tricked when I ordered my ticket. I had asked somebody about the attendance numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody told me last year that there was going to be 1,000 people there.
No, hell no.
So that was part of the reason. No, I know that, but I didn't know that when they said that. So all my prep for Faithless Forum and being nervous was, oh my God, there's going to be 1,000 people there. I get there and there's it's 180 at the most.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Well, they did sell out. So, and of course, after they found out that the wait list was like 200 people deep. So we're pretty close to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was so worried about buying tickets this year, and then I got that email saying that they wanted me to be a part of the panel, and I was like blown away. First of all, like, holy fuck, I'm really still new at this. You guys sure? Well, apparently that's happened with tourists too. So,
well, and I think it's really great for them to do panels of the newer folks. It shouldn't just be like all the names that everybody knows, but like I can see you and X-Cult Baby doing a panel together on being new. It would be great if Unholy Sarah could have made it, but
yeah, that's too
bad. Happens. Yeah, I was wondering. I kept saying like when are they going to release the tickets? It's in April. When are they going to release? Then it's like, nope, it's in June now.
Yeah. I thought April was warm in Texas. Wait till June.
Oh my goodness, yes.
I'm going to be walking around with like a strip of fucking paper towel over my knob or something, and that's it. I'm from Canada. This is like living in an oven.
Well, it won't be too difficult for me living in Georgia, Atlanta area, because the summer nickname here is.
You live near ocean.
Yeah, actually, I live near Ocean.
Well, Ocean.
I live near Ocean, Surus, apparently Wolf the Red.
Well, yeah, because him and Ocean are.
Who else? There's a couple of other people that are like in the general area, but I'm like we should go to this hot Waffle House, but then I'm like, I don't want to be weird and like say, hey, you want to go to Waffle House? It just feels weird for some reason. Besides, Ocean's in
love waffles.
Freaking Mardi Gras, Louisiana right now, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. His Instagram or something, there was a picture of him.
That reminds me, actually, not about speaking about Ocean, for Messenger Reveals, you could absolutely show up at the Faithless Forum. It wouldn't bother anyone that you were a theist of any kind, because we had Ocean there last year, and he's a polytheist.
And
he partied with us.
Dr. Josh's wife was going to come this year, but she's going to be too pregnant by the time of Faithless Forum. But
I'm actually super stoked he's going to be there, though.
Yeah. I was like, I saw her updating her or him, I'm not sure which one at that point, updating a bunch of things about being at Faithless Forum, and I'm like, but I thought you weren't going to make it. I've just assumed that if she wasn't going to be there, he wasn't going to be there. But of course, I guess he's going to go.
Well, he's part of the panel, is he not?
I don't know. I don't know who's in any of the panels. I don't really go for the panels anyways. I just go because I get to hang out with people and I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Although I missed a panel that I really wanted to see last year. The one that I had actually suggested, or not suggested, but had said like this would be a good panel for you guys to have, and they ended up having one. I'm not suggesting that my suggestion had any influence on it, but it was the ladies, the panel of all the ladies.
Oh, right. And then they also tubed in Zara K as well.
Oh, they did? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, she was on the computer with them on the screen.
I see. I was waiting for them to. Oh, I'm being served food.
Uh-oh. Right.
Food. Ow, it dripped.
I need one of those.
Oh, it's a big freaking steak, too. I didn't know this was going to happen.
Speaking of Zara K,
Mm-hmm.
I finally got her booked. We had her booked, but something came up and she had to go on a trip. But who cares? It's not till the end of April. April 27th, I have Zara K on the show. And Flow State is actually, who's in the chat, will be on the show as well a couple of days before Zara K. So that's cool. Yeah, I got lots of did you meet Phoenix when you were down there? Works at the ACA?
I didn't get to go to the ACA.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. I flew in the day before and I flew out the day after. In the morning.
Gotcha.
I
flew for a week. And it wasn't enough. That's why I'm upping it to 2 this year. And another, I got really cool people coming up actually on the show. I got X from Utah. Oh, Cass coming on. Actually, X, Kyle, and Felicia will all be on. And Shelly Segal. I think I'm going to try and talk her into us doing some sort of a little singy duet thingy while she's on the show. That'd be kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things I've been running around or running across some of the other head people at Faithless Forum is me doing like a condensed version of a deconversion story live and streaming it. And Rationality Rules volunteered to be my guest for that.
Oh, cool.
Because the only 2 really out of that group that I haven't had on the show other than Cosmic Skeptic, but he never answers anything. So
he's a college student. I mean,
exactly. He's a busy guy. So I'll get to him eventually. He did agree to come on, but it'll have to be an eventually thing. But Matt Delahanty and Stephen both have agreed to come on. It's just, of course, with them, time is an issue.
Yeah.
But once I mentioned that, he was like, "Yeah, I'm down for that. If we do it, if they allow it to happen, we'll do it." Right. So we can also do it outside of the actual panel thing. Like we could do it like in a lobby and do a live one with him at the Faithless Forum, live from Faithless Forum hotel lobby. Right. So we could do that too. I could do actually both of them.
Did you ever broach the blood drive idea to them?
No, I have not. I have not. That's a tough one to put together. If it's anything at all like it is here in Canada, before they even send out the Bloodmobile, you need to have a guarantee of at least 50 people donating.
Oof.
Right? And I'm pretty sure, because these things are expensive to operate, so I'm pretty sure they're going to have something quite similar. They'll have a minimum requirement before they send out something like that.
So I always find that there's a blood bus outside my work. Nobody tells them to come out. They just show up. I'm like, we need blood. But I found out the place is just like a block down the road. So
there you go.
That's why it's not a big deal.
I always recommend that you donate blood. It's really good for you because it forces your body to create new cells, i.e. blood cells, among other cells as well. So it's quite good for you to do. And every donation that you make can save up to 3 lives. That's pretty impressive.
Yes, I live in Atlanta, but I'm not from Atlanta.
Right.
Yeah, actually, when I thought I was going to be on camera, I went when I put a different shirt on. I went and I got one of my blood donor shirts.
Oh, cool! I have one too, but it's full of holes.
It's a star. It's a white and red star with a droplet in the center of it. Nice. But I couldn't figure out the camera. It just would not work out.
I got my shirt from my dad. It was his. And he gave it to me. Well, I kind of took it, but it's okay. My next 3 guests actually, after coming up in February 22nd, 24th, and 26th, one of them is Math Pig.
Yay, Math Pig.
Math Pig will be on next Wednesday. And then before Math Pig shows up, I've got Lloyd Evans on Saturday. You're not going to want to miss that one.
Oh, yeah.
And Jenna Belk is going to be on Monday, 24th. She's, if you don't know who she is, she's one of the co-hosts for the Atheist Experience. I also have Richard Carrier coming up too, guys.
Fancy.
Yeah.
I said, I said, you guys, you and Dave are both kind of inching up the ladder of all of the people. Because I noticed Dave had somebody on fudge cakes. I can't remember who it was now.
Was this recently?
Yeah.
Was it Gray Skeptic, maybe?
No, I think it was oh goodness, I'm so bad with names. Let me see. Open up another tab. It's not gonna.
Yeah, just do that.
Let's see.
I
Well,
want to get
I
I want
only
to get
found.
Freaky Blinder on.
See, I'd only found Dave recently,
Really?
and
Wow.
I saw that he did Seth Andrews, and then he did Andrew Seidel,
Mhm.
and I said, "Oh, looks like you're coming up in the world." And then I went through and looked at all the other people he'd interviewed, and looked down and seen like number 1 or number 2 was like Aaron Raw, and I was like, "Oh,
Right.
maybe I'm just not very informed on the people he's interviewed."
Yeah, he's had some great people on that show.
Mhm.
He's had me on way
Yeah.
back in the day, which is it's funny because I really only just met him at the time, and we were talking about doing these types of shows and whatnot. Yeah, Creaky Blinder's awesome, Randy, and I communicate with him quite often. Actually, he's fucking hilarious. I'm part Welsh, so I kind of had that connection to Creaky because he's a Welsh bastard. So.
English, Irish, Welsh, Spanish, and Scottish.
Really, I'm very similar. English, Welsh, Italian, and French.
My mother was very into genealogy, and she could go back on my dad's family side, on my paternal side, to the person who came over first, and then on her family she could go back farther. It was my grandmother on my father's side. Her line was the difficult one to track
Mm-hmm.
because she passed away after my mom gave my dad a Dear John letter. So she didn't like my mom very much.
I guess not.
But they ended up getting back together, and of course, then they had me and my brother.
Wrong one. Wait, part Welsh, does that mean you like sheep? Oh, yeah. But we got another super chat from Josiah. I don't want to be the reason you break the bank, Josiah. Come on, buddy.
Beat exercised.
I'm sending you a great big virtual hug right now, my friend, because I know your heart hurts. Anyways, we've gone past the hour.
Oh,
look, see that? See how we were able to stretch this out? But I like that. I think it's fun because I get the deconversion story in and of itself is, of course, important, and I think these need to be shared so people know that there's more like them out there, and that we have a community that they can jump into and fall back on. Because we're all there. So, but anyways, let's do an after party. I'll shut this down and we'll boot up a new one, and I'll send you a fresh link.
Okay.
And for anyone that would like to be involved in the after party, just let me know. If you have me on Twitter, send me a DM. If you don't, look me up on Twitter and then send me a DM. And if you're not on Twitter, but you know me from Facebook, you can send me a message through Facebook Messenger. I will respond. And we'll get an after party going. Should be pretty fun. Can probably go for a couple hours. Anyways, thank you so much for being on the show today. I think it was a great chat. Yes, I'm talking to you.
Oh, I thought. I'm sorry. I got distracted because Julie said something, and I was reading it and trying to type and respond before you shut everything down. But since you're not shutting it down just yet, that sounds like fun.
Yeah,
we can make a deal. She says she might be moving to Atlanta in 2 years.
Oh, awesome! Very cool.
Yeah, I'm always down for meeting people in the area through these groups. It's just kind of awkward sometimes, but especially considering that the only ones that I know down here, aside from one, are creators, and it's kind of that. I don't want to come across as like a creepy fan type thing, you know?
Who cares?
And it's just it's well.
I'm a creepy fan of lots of them. Once people get to know me, they actually know I'm all right. So
yeah,
they get to find out I'm actually an all right guy. I seem a little creepy sometimes. Anyway, I love meeting people from the community. I think that's one of the reasons I really like doing what I do, because I get to meet so many people doing this and having the conversations like this. So I get to know that community a little bit better. and then they get to know me, and I think that's awesome.
I was giggling at what Rory said.
What Rory said?
Yeah, it's the first time I had intercourse with his future wife was skinny dipping at the hotel pool at the Marriott in Atlanta.
Nice. Attaboy, Rory. I knew I liked Rory for some reason. Skinny dipping in hotel pools, that's always right up there in my books.
Yeah.
All right. Let's bring this to an end and get into an after party. Of course, we're going to take a little bit of a break. I usually go about 10 minutes in between the shows. So you can, use the washroom or grab a refreshment or whatever
Or
you want.
eat this food that my boyfriend dropped in my lap almost.
Exactly.
And find my bottle of pink Moscato.
There you go. Well, thanks again, Pirate Kitty, for being my guest of honor today. It was a pleasure chatting with you.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, my pleasure. And by the way, you're welcome into any of my. Well, I think you've been in some of my after parties already.
I won. I tried to go into the Drew after party.
Right.
At which point he was like, "Well, I've already talked to you tons, so I can go now." But I got in, and then my stomach started acting up, and I'm like, "Oh, I just got in, and now I have to leave like almost right away."
Yeah. Well, you were in there for about, I think, somewhere between 5 and 10 minutes.
Yeah, but I don't think I was there the whole time.
Dang it. Well, you'll have to tune in for the after party, Meredith, which will be starting up in about 10 minutes or so. So once again, guys, if you want to be a part of it, let me know through the Twitter there or the Facebook Messenger, and I will give you a link to join us. And after party means I can start drinking. I wasn't keeping you from drinking anyways, Purple. It's okay. By the way, guys, I should mention this before we shut down, even though I'll be hosting part of the marathon next week or this coming weekend. Purple is looking for a little help to get him and his roommate's butt out of the little crap town that they're living in into something better for them. So if you have a few extra bucks you can spare, then are any of my moderators in the chat able to grab that link and pop it in the chat before we shut this down? But thanks for posting the after party link too, by the way, Math Big. Purple's always looking for help for this, and I know how tough it can be. I've been there. And they didn't have shit like this when I was there. I actually had to go around and earn the money. Fuck. Let's just say I have no shame. But anyways, yes, thank you very much. Oh, you did it. Awesome.
I'm good at multitasking sometimes.
Yes, sometimes.
Well, I was going to do that too. I was going to be like, "Hey, by the way, Purple's trying to move. Can you help him?" But you did it for me.
Right. Well, I made mention on the last one too, since I've known about it. So I've sort of been putting that out there. So if you can help, it would be much appreciated. There we go. So we got 2 PayPal links right there. And there you go. And we also have a GoFundMe link that Critical Cripple brought for us as well. And Meredith likes big butts and she cannot lie, especially if they've got Nacho Witness's face on them, right? Like your pants or whatever. The leggings that she likes to wear.
I was going to say, there's another Meredith? And then I'm like, wait a minute. No, that's the same one, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't have a wrench.
That's because she's not using her Bardia handle. She's just going with the Meredith one. I have plenty of people with wrenches. Everyone's got a fucking wrench. I was called the Oprah of wrenches at one time.
You get a wrench and you get a... Yeah.
Exactly. Just look under your seat. There's a wrench. All right. So, I keep saying this. We're going to get into an after party. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed the conversation as much as we did. Well, you did, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I said to make sure. Anywho, until next time, guys, like I always say at the end of these shows, like the late, great Christopher Hitchens once said, it's called faith because it's not knowledge. And we